Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carlos Phoenix with the Indie Lounge, and today I have William, who is another poet. We are in the iLounge, and we're going to go into what William does, how long he's been doing it, and so on. So, William, please introduce yourself.
My name's William Herriott. I am actually a songwriter, and I do poetry to express my lyrics and sort of test them out on an audience before I actually put notes to them. So that's sort of my approach to poetry.
Now, that's a different angle from some of the folks I've been talking to, but there always seems to be a link to music in some way. So you're a writer, I guess, is what you would be considered.
Composer, songwriter.
Cool. Any particular style of music that you kind of write for in particular?
Most of my compositions start off as jazz compositions, and then I'll also convert them to classical compositions. So, and my belief is that any song, good song, should be able to morph into any style. So I've had jazz compositions that have been played by R&B groups, and I'm sure you've heard that sort of a thing, a lot of times. But for me, that's the idea. Strong lyrics, strong music, strong performances of those things should be able to make a good composition. So that's my approach to it. And I want to, focus on my lyrics while I'm doing poetry just to make sure that those are strong individually. And when my lyrics are strong individually, then I know I can take it to the next level, which is
by the sight of falling leaves, swaying trees paired with the sound of leaves. Oh, they must be happy to dance and sing.
Which is the music. I have a degree in music, so I've been writing music for years. And
I was going to ask you about that because the way you're angling your words, in terms of the strength of the lyrics, the power of the lyrics. Did you study music theory? Did you get into all that type of stuff?
Oh yes.
So where did you study music?
I studied music at Florida A&M University, and marched in the band there. I majored in percussion, but also studied voice, and composition was my thing. I mean, all the while I wrote music. I wrote music for all of the ensembles that I played with. Didn't have them all perform publicly, but yeah, that was my thing, composition. So had a wonderful experience there.
So you started young. How old were you when you first started really getting into music?
Actually, I first learned how to hold a pair of drumsticks when I was in 11th grade. I actually got started late. And before I was a musician, I was an artist, so I would draw a lot. So I do a lot of different things artistically, and I've sort of incorporated all of them into what I do now.
Now, what kind of art?
Photography, painting, drawing. When I was a kid, I did a lot of drawings. And
we're talking about comic books, sci-fi, what kind of?
No real theme like that. I would just draw ideas, historical ideas. If I had to label it, I would draw historical scenes and I'd put my own twist on them. So war scenes, Black history themes, things like that.
Okay. So is history kind of like one of the topics you focus on in your poetry?
History is an important part of what I do. I like to have a solid foundation for whatever my topics are. So I wouldn't call myself a history buff, but I think if I'm writing something, the history behind it should be sound. It should be sound. So when you're writing a song, do you start doing research about some of the history you want to talk about? Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. So where can people find out more about you? Well, I actually host a blog talk radio show. It's called Village Creative Radio, and it's on the Survival Radio Network on Blog Talk Radio. Very nice. And that's the easiest place to get in contact with me right now. I've thought about putting some of these shows on there, but it's definitely a different. It's definitely more like radio as opposed to doing a video and talking to a mic. But well, that's very cool. What about Facebook or Twitter or anything like that? I'm definitely on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter yet, and I don't have a website yet. My music is on iTunes, so it's William Herriott on iTunes, and that's how you could purchase my music. Cool.
Now it's interesting that you're not into Twitter, because I can see some haikus or something being put on Twitter. New fan base, perhaps.
Possibly. I'm not really sold on putting my artwork into that digital arena just yet. I'm kind of old school about that. I like hard books, old formats, and I've put some things out in the digital world, but
A little bit like the Rolling Stones, a little bit, but okay. Well, excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for watching. Check out William and his iTunes music. I'm going to see if I can put some links right down there. And there's more to come. Thank you for watching.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.